What's up, everybody? Hello, guys. I would like to use this opportunity to welcome you all to this brand new tutorial. And again, I also like to use this opportunity to apologize sincerely for not being consistent on the page. I've not been uploading tutorials for a while now, and I know that is not the right way to go, but I promise that I'm gonna be consistent this time around on the channel. Okay, so just rolling. So basically in this tutorial we are going to learn how to fetch data, okay, from an external source. So let's say you've gotten acquainted or you are familiarize yourself right now with building static website, okay, but you don't know how to make your website dynamic or how to actually pull in data from an external source. Don't worry. In this particular tutorial, I'm going to teach you guys specifically how to leverage on an API or how to use an API to fetch data from an external source. So I know maybe API might sound, let's say, strange to you guys. So an API basically is an acronym, okay, that stands for Application Programming Interface, okay. So it's just like a set of protocol that is used for transmission of data from one software product to the other, okay. Now, to a layman understanding, you can picture an API, okay, or like let's say, just imagine you are sitting on the table, okay, at a restaurant with a menu of what choices to order from. Mostly when you visit a restaurant, you are being presented a menu of what different dishes for you to make an order. Okay, so let's say the kitchen is part of the system, okay, that will prepare your dish or your order for you. What is now missing is the critical link to communicate your order to the kitchen and deliver your food back to your table. So that is now where an API comes in. So an API in the kitchen sense means is the waiter, okay. So basically the waiter comes in, takes your order, deliver it to the kitchen, okay. Yes, deliver it to the kitchen. So the API is the waiter is the messenger or the API. So that now takes your request, okay, or your order and tells the kitchen, okay, that is the system, what to do. So the waiter delivers the response back to you. In this case, that's the food, okay. So that is just what an API basically does, okay. And you can build an API from scratch. You can also get an API that is already built by some engineers. Then you can just use it to be able to do whatever you want to do to with the intended purpose. Okay, so there are a bunch of APIs out there. Okay, but for the purpose of this tutorial, we are going to actually use an API that is from Github. Okay, so guys, you can just comment below if you want me to record a tutorial on how to actually build an API from scratch. Let's say if you're using Node.js and all that, you can comment down. Hit the command this in the comments button. Okay, then just let me know if you want me to record a tutorial on how to build an API from scratch. So fast forward. So we're going to use the Github API. Okay, so that is what this project is gonna do. So we are going to use an account, okay, that is associated. We are going to use an account, okay, someone's account on GitHub. Then we'll fetch, and any GitHub account has some data. Let's say the repository that is associated with the data, the URL, the name, the username, the followers, the bio, the avatar, that's the image and all that, right? So for a start, we are going to use my account, my GitHub account, okay, as a case study to start with. You see http://github.com/bralexsvd. So there is my account. So that is what we are going to do. And just before I recorded the tutorial, I asked a friend to send me his GitHub username. So I will be using that also after I use mine, so that you guys can see how it actually works. You can use any GitHub account at all, and you'll be able to get data that is related to that. So that is the API, okay. There is the API. So we have https://api.com/users, then the name of what the user, that is bralexsvd, and that is what the API returns. So it actually returns a JSON-like format of data, okay. So we have like login, we have ID. That's this ID is associated with the account, okay, which is unique, as we all know. So let's say, so this is the name of the that is associated to the account, Adam Alex, and that is my name, and you can verify here. You see Adam Alex, Okay, so that is actually accurate. And bio, you can see software developer tech advocate. When we go to my account, you can see it, software developer and tech advocate. Then we have public repos. That's what the repos that I've made what public. Okay, so you can see them to here 25, and which is also what accurate. You can see the followers and the following is also accurate. So yes, that is what we're gonna be using. Okay, so guys, but first, as we said, we are going to be using React JS. Okay, so if you don't have React setup, so kindly visit nodejs.org, download and install Node.js. Node.js comes with a package called Node Package Manager, that is npm. Okay, so you can use Node Package Manager to install React. So you can, on your command line, you can just use npx create React app to just get a starter or a boilerplate of React codes to start working with. That is what I've done. I have already used that. Okay, I've installed I've used create React app to actually create or scaffold a React project. Okay, so now there are various ways to fetch data from an API. You can use the browser-based built-in fetch method, okay, to fetch data from an API. But for the purpose of this tutorial, we are going to use Axios. Okay, so that's what we are going to be using. So we're going to be using Axios to fetch our data. Okay, so Axios is just, in a nutshell, Axios is just a JavaScript library that is used to make HTTP requests from Node.js or XML HTTP requests from the browser, and it also supports the ESS promised API. Okay, so that is what we gonna be using, and Axios actually aims to improve upon the fetch method. Okay, so the fetch actually uses a two-step process when dealing with JSON data. So after making an initial request, you will need to call the .json method on the response. Okay, and in order to receive the actual data object. But with Axios, it just it handles that for you. It automatically or by default converts the data, okay, from JSON to the normal data. Then you can just start rendering it out. Okay, so basically this API, all this that you are seeing, we are going to actually render them out on the browser. So you can install Axios too. Okay, you can use npm or yarn. Okay, if you're using yarn, you can use yarn. If you're using Bower, you can just yarn add Axios or Bower install Axios. Or if you're using npm, just that is what I did. I use npm, so you can just use npm install Axios and you are good to go. So I think we've done plenty talking. Let me start work. Right, okay, so I'm going to use a snippet called RFCE, okay, just to get some boilerplate React codes to start with. It's not just anything plenty. I'm just importing React. Even I don't even need this. Okay, React version, I think from React version 18 going, you don't need this. Okay, yeah, but I'm just going to leave that, and you have a function and all that. So you can come to the extension tab. Okay, you can come to the extension tab and just install it. The extension is called ES7 plus React Redux React Native Snippets. Okay, so you can just install that and you are good to go. So that is just what I use to get this. Yeah, so first and first, we'll be using hooks. Okay, so guys, we'll be using hooks to perform some actions. So I'm not going to actually go into details telling you what hooks are and what you can use hooks to actually do. But then, in a nutshell, hooks are actually used. So in your application, you will use hook, okay, to handle the state of your application. There are so many hooks that are part of the React library. Okay, we have use state hook, use effect hook, use reducers and all that. But for the purpose of this tutorial, we are going to actually use state and use effect. Okay, use state to just handle the state of our application. Then we use the use effect to perform some side effects on our application. Right, so I'm just going to call them here. So we have use state, use effect. Okay, yeah, so that is that. Okay, so right now let's bring in our URL. Okay, that is the API. So we have const, we just say const URL, which is equal to, then let's just copy our API. Where is it? Okay, here, let's just copy our API here. We just copy that and come and paste. So you just do this, right? Okay, so right now inside this function we are going to call our useState hook. So you just say const, okay, then use this array distraction method that comes with ESS. Okay, I think you guys should get familiar with this. If you haven't, you can check out this in ESX tutorials on YouTube or just read them. Yeah, so I'm going to use this array distraction. So we have const. So I've set an initial value of variable, then I have a function, okay, that is going to change this initial value, okay, after the application, after the website renders. So you just say details, then let's say you can set it to any name at all you have, then what, set details, okay, then equal to useState. Okay, so for now let's make this now, okay. Yeah, so after this we'll have to now bring in our use effect hook. Okay, so our use effect hook will now allow us to be able to now fetch data from an API. Okay, so, yeah. So we'll now bring Axios. Okay, we've already imported Axios as what? Okay, we haven't even installed Axios. So guys, we haven't import Axios. So we import Axios at the top here. So we just say import Axios. Okay, Axios from the Axios library. So we can now use it here. If you don't, you wouldn't be able to use it. So you just say Axios. You say Axios.get. Okay, it should get what? It should get the URL. Okay, then you see, as we said, it support the ESS promise based there's an API. So you can call in the .then. So you say .net .then then so you have then you have your response. Okay, give us our response. Then so I think we can now log out this response to the console. So okay, so console.log response. So let's save that. Now guys, check something. After we save, okay, then we'll visit our website, our page, and we refresh. Nothing happens, right? It's blank. Yes. Why? Because we have to actually import it in our root file. Okay, so we'll have to import it here. The name is Github, right? So we have Github, right? So and it automatically actually import it for you. Yes. So we have import Github from. Then you just specify the path to it. So now let's save and go back. Let's see. So yes, let's go to Chrome. Yes. So right now we have our data here. Okay. We have a data. Okay, this is the data. Yes. So we have a data, guys. Check this out. So we have a data that contains, you have the avatar URL, that's the avatar associated with the GitHub account. We have the followers, following, and all that. Okay, yeah, we have the URL here, we have login, we have the name and all that, right? Okay, so I think we can continue. We can now we have our data, so we can now render out our data. So guys, but then let's add a dependency array here. So this dependency is going to prevent our application from re-rendering all the time. Okay, yeah, so it only renders once but not to be rendering a number of times. Okay, so I think we can continue here. So right now we'll have to also handle errors in case our data, we don't get our data. What should happen? Okay, yes, so we just see if, then we use the not operator. If there's no details, okay, or if the server does not give us any details, it should just return us now. Or if you want, we can actually say it should return us, let's say h1, then we say there is no data, right? So now let's save and see. Yes, it didn't even give us anything. Okay, why? Because actually here we will have to yes, because we've not actually even called in the data. Okay, we've not called the data here, we've not returned the data. So all you have to do is, guys, you just say set, that's the function that we created. So set details. Okay, then you say so your details, it should give you the response dot data. Okay, it should give us the response dot data. Now let's save and see. think there's something going wrong here. Okay, here. So let's just make it now, guys. Let's just say it should just, if there's no data, it should just return now. If there's no data, it should return now. Okay, so yes, we have our data here. Everything, it's giving us a status code of 200. So everything is okay. So first of all, I think let's have the name. Okay, let's have, that's the login. Where is it? Login. Okay, yeah, login. So we can come here, then we say here, just here. So just say h1, h1. Okay, then you bring your curly braces. Okay, then we bring details, then the initial value dot, you just say login. So let's save and see. Okay, so we can see what braless what svg. Okay, let's try the name and see. You can see the name Adam Alex, and that is actually the name that is associated to it. So you can see name Adam Alex here, and when we visit the account you can see it. So name Adam Alex, right? Okay, so now let's say for instance we want to get the number of repositories that is associated to the account. Okay, so you can see here public repos, public underscore repos. So we can come here, then we say maybe h2. We can say h2. Okay, then we say details dot public underscore repos. Okay, now let's save and see. Okay, 25. There are 25 repositories that is associated to the account, and we can verify it. It's actually what 25, right? And now let's see the bio. Okay, yeah, the bio. So with the bio too, we can just say, let's use a p tag, a paragraph tag for that. So here we have let's just say details dot bio, right? Then we can see software development tech advocate, which is actually true. Yeah, so I think let's render out this avatar, the image, and see. Let's render that. I think that one is avatar URL. Okay, we have avatar URL. That is it. Avatar URL is here. Avatar underscore URL. So that one we are going to use the image tag. Okay, so we use the image tag for that. So we use the image tag for that. Okay, yeah. So so yes, so inside the source attributes we are going to have details dot, so we say avatar underscore URL. Let's save and see if it works. Let's save and see if it will work. Let's wait. I think the network. Okay, so React is saying it might have an alt value. Okay, so let's just give it an alt attribute. So it has an alt of, let's say avatar, right? Yes, boom. And guys, you can actually see the avatar. Okay, that's the image associated with the account. So yeah, guys, you see how simple it is. Yeah, so as I said, we can use a different account too. Okay, I think the friend of mine, yeah, his name is called Diku Mauli. So instead of braless svg, so we are going to use that, if I'm not mistaken, Diku Mauli. Okay, so let's save and see. Diku Mauli. Okay, so yeah, we can see the name. Yeah, you can see the name Mauli Diku, and he has 12 repositories, and we can see his what image here. Yes, so that is it. So guys, you see how simple it is. So simple. Okay, so yes, here we have the URL, Then we'll use the distraction to actually set the initial value and the function that is going to run after the initial value runs. Then we have the use effect hook here, wherein we call in our Axios to get our data for us. So we console the log it. We error handled our application. Then here in this return method, that is now where we rendered out our data. So guys, you see how simple that is. So if you like this video, please consider clicking on the like button. Also subscribe to my channel, okay? Help the channel to grow. And as I said, I promise to be consistent this time around. I'll be uploading a whole lot of tutorials this time around. So thank you and see you some other time. Bye bye.